Hey everybody, Aaron with Civil War Travels. We're here with Chris. We're at a really cool place. This is a coffee wagon here at Appomattox at the 160th celebration. And Chris is going to tell us a little bit about the Christian Commission and also the coffee wagon. Take it away.
Yes, sir. Thank you. The coffee wagon was patented in 1863 and then actually reached the Army in the summer of 64. Around Petersburg is where it first came to the Army. They were only used in the Eastern Theater. They were not used anywhere in the Western Theater or anywhere like that, only on the Union side. Of course, the U.S. Christian Commission was formed in 1862 in Philadelphia, and it was basically a charitable organization that would take the gospel of Jesus Christ to the Army. It was staffed by ministers and lay people from churches. You had to be evangelical to be a delegate. And so who I'm representing is a delegate of the Christian Commission. So you would be out with the Army around 5 to 6 weeks at a time. And it was everyone except the kind of the supervisors were unpaid. So it was like a volunteer mission trip would be today. So you would go, you would be attached to the Army. You would be with them, serving them. They were clothed much like I'm clothed. This is a badge that they wore. And they did serve in the Eastern and Western theater of the war. Again, these coffee wagons were only here in Virginia. So what we're representing today is the coffee wagon was actually here at Appomattox with the 5th U.S. Army Corps when it advanced into town. So this is a reproduction that was built in the 1960s by the Chase and Sanborn Coffee Companies for the Civil War Centennial. Mm-hmm. So it's been restored after the reproduction. It actually belongs to the Armed Forces YMCA, which the Christian Commission was the forerunner of our YMCA. Oh, anytime you see YMCA, Young Men Christian Association, that was the Christian Commission at that time. So, yeah, and so this was built, and then Reverend Alan Farley, who ran Reenactors Missions for Jesus Christ, he actually worked on restoring the reproduction that was on a trailer in the back of the YMCA, basically just wasted away in a state of rot. So everything you see here has pretty much been restored from that point.
Yeah, this thing doesn't just make coffee.
Well, it'll heat up anything liquid. So originally they would make coffee, tea, and then beef broth. They talked about making beef broth. And from the breakout at Petersburg all the way up in the pursuit of Lee's army, they were using it to feed wounded men in hospitals. They would pull up. Of course, it'd be pulled by horses, by a team of at least one team of horses. And they would pull up and then start the fires and make coffee, tea, and then the beef broth. Because, of course, a wounded person is not going to be able to chew and stuff like somebody, basically like a hospital food thing. Yeah. And the Christian Commission, they would make beef broth to help get them nutrition while they were So it was with the Army all the way up through the pursuit. There's one kind of, could have been tragic, but turned out being a humorous account of the delegates got in front of the Army of the 5th Corps and got fired on by Confederates because Confederates thought they were Union artillery. Because, you see that coming at you and you think artillery piece. And so, about the commission, it, of course, lasted through the Civil War and then went inactive and then was here for a little bit in the Spanish-American War. And then after that, this was no longer an organization. But some famous people that you might recognize that was with the commission was Dwight Moody, D.L. Moody, Moody Bible Institute in Chicago. He was a Christian Commission delegate. And one that was a delegate that actually worked in the hospital was Walt Whitman. He worked in the hospitals for the commission. So they are very unique in that at the time with the material culture, they didn't care who you were, they would help you. So, which is very much a Christian virtue. They gave the gospel of Christ to everyone, didn't matter Confederate, Union, even, escaped African Americans, whoever, they helped them. So there's a lot of accounts here of, giving food and drink to the Confederates, like they did the Unions and that type thing. There's a couple journal entries of guys that were here and they talked about seeing Grant and Lee together and, really neat things like that. And they also, women were delegates just like men, which in the mid 19th century is rare. So they were given a badge, and they actually ran what they called special diet kitchens for the hospitals when they would make food that, the wounded men could eat, because the army ration for a wounded person was hardtack and bacon, just like it was for, and that's a generic form. There's a lot of vegetables and stuff, but it was stuff that needed to be chewed and all. Well, a wounded person's not going to be able to do that. So the special diet kitchens would make milk punch was a big thing, which I've never had it, but they talk about it. And then the broths, potatoes, eggs, all those things that are nutritious but are soft. They would do that. So,
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
so I can get a cup of coffee.
Oh, yes, I had one earlier, and I know it was rebrewing here, so we're going to get another one here.
Yeah, we've been through, this is going to be almost 40 gallons today. So when we started at about 8 o'clock. So
Did not drink that much, but
yeah, there you go.
but I'd like to try that. So maybe
Sounds good.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.